Well, another Jamaican came to the US to get famous, and famous she did get. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's get right into this short video. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. According to Channel 10 News out of Florida, detectives are accusing a 24-year-old Jamaican woman of conspiring with three men to steal 12 cars from Hertz rental car while she worked security earlier this year at the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport Car Rental Center. This girl has about 12 felony charges on her now. I guess she wanted all the felonies for herself. You know how somebody say, I want all the smoke? I guess she wanted all the felonies because she ended up with a dozen. And it's not looking too good for her either. Laugh now, cry later. You could have did stay at Jamaica for this still. But anyway, Savannah Harsha Phillips. Arraignment on 13 felony charges. Oh, I thought it was 12. She got an extra one. 13 felony charges to the 12 cars that were stolen from the Hertz parking garage at 11 p.m. on May 16th and at 12:05 a.m. on May 17th was on Wednesday morning before Broward County Circuit Judge Thomas J. Coleman. Damn, they stole 12 cars in 2 nights? Sheesh. So here's her role. Phillips, who was born in Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica, a bad gal, a town gal, and she lives in Sunrise, Florida. She is accused of allowing the drivers to exit the Hertz parking garage without showing a driver's license, and she was pretending to scan the vehicles as they exited, a BSO detective, Broward Sheriff's Office detective, wrote in a report to apply for an arrest warrant. That's the affidavit. So she didn't know that there are cameras everywhere and they're going to see that you are pretending to scan, and when they line up the machines that the information is supposed to be going in while you're scanning, the time, it'll show that nothing was happening. You were just doing a dummy scan. Prisons are filled with people who are not so smart, but they think they are the smartest. And I'm starting to see that now. So, a Hertz corporate security manager learned that a black Kia K4 that had been stolen at the Florida car rental center was involved in crimes all the way in Texas. And a white Toyota Corolla that was also stolen at the same car rental center was involved in crimes all the way in Virginia. So they started looking into things, according to the 17-page arrest warrant for Phillips. So the others were a second black Kia K4, 3 gray Kia K4s, a red Kia K4, 2 blue Nissan Altimas, a red Hyundai Sonata, a maroon Nissan Sentra, a black Nissan Altima, according to the detective's affidavit. Phillips had access to all Hertz company vehicles. She also had knowledge that the keys would be in the vehicles, and she knew the slowest time of the business to commit this crime successfully and most likely to not be detected, is what the detectives wrote. So in other words, she is the mastermind behind this scheme. Prosecutors filed a case against her. The deputies arrested her at her home in Sunrise on August 26th. Phillips has been charged with first-degree organized fraud, 5 counts of second-degree grand theft, and 7 counts of third-degree grand theft. We're going to talk about what type of time she could be looking at in a minute. Broward County Office Correctional Deputies held her at the Paul Rain Detention Facility. A bond court judge ordered her to prove that the $62,000 bail was not from criminal proceeds. Records show that the next time she is due in court will be 8:30 a.m. on December 1st. You know she in trouble. So I guess they did set a bond for her after all that. They're probably saying it's not a violent crime, it's stealing, but no one was injured. However, they set a bond at $62,000, or she's supposed to pay $62,000, but she has to prove where the $62,000 comes from. Today is October 2nd. She's been in since August 26th. So that means, and she doesn't go back to court until December 1st. So she has September, October, November, 3 months and a couple of weeks before she sees the judge again. And when she sees the judge again, she'll have to say, if she's bonding out or not, and then also present proof of where that money comes from. Now, I went and did a little research. Because I just wanted to see something. I wanted to see how much trouble she was facing. She definitely has grand theft auto times 12, times 13 on her record right now as it stands. A lot of people are making fun of her wig or weave on social media. Somebody says, damn, leave Lion King alone. Another person says, they must have identified her by her wig for sure. Another person said, damn, she was stealing cars, but not wigs. She should have been stealing wigs. She could use one. Another person says, maybe someone stole her wig. And then another person says, so this why they pushed back GTA to 226. New player activated. Another person said, super impressed. She hit for 50 racks. $50,000 worth of stolen goods is what it says on her record. Y'all tripping. Somebody else says, damn, young thug, because you sure looks like thugger. Anyways, speaking of the time she could spend behind bars, so in Florida, the amount of prison time for grand theft auto depends on the value of the stolen vehicle and whether other factors were involved in the crime. The penalties range from up to 5 years for third-degree felony to up to 30 years for first-degree felony. She has first, second, and third. She has a couple of firsts, a couple of seconds, and a couple of thirds. So she's looking at anywhere from 5 years to 30 years behind bars. I tell you what, she is going to do some time. She's going to do some time. I don't know if she's going to do 30 years behind this, but she is definitely going to do some time behind this. I'm willing to bet about 3 to 5 years if she's a first-time offender with no priors. Third-degree felonies, usually this applies if the vehicle is valued at $750,000 to $20,000, which is probably all the damn vehicles that they took, except for a couple of others. And that brings prison time for up to 5 years, and followed by a 5-year probation period, and a fine of up to $5,000 to be paid in restitution. Second degree, which she has a couple of those, the vehicle got to be worth between $20,000 and $100,000. That brings a 15 years prison time, 15 years probation time, and a $10,000 fine. The third one, which is the first degree felony, the vehicle got to be $100,000 or more. I didn't hear them mention any vehicles there that were worth $100,000, but then again, they did not mention all 13 vehicles. This brings prison time of up to 30 years, 30 years of probation, and up to $10,000 in fines. Well, this also depends on if any of those vehicles were used in crimes and if any of those vehicles were damaged and so on and so forth, which we heard earlier that a couple of the vehicles that were stolen from where she was at, that she was seen on video scanning as if she was doing her job when she actually wasn't. She was just pretending and letting them go. Those vehicles have been found in West Virginia and in another state involved in crimes. So she has a lot on her plate right now. So the length of prison sentence for organized fraud, because that's what it says her charges are: grand theft auto, organized fraud. And her charge for that, the length of prison sentence for organized fraud varies dramatically based on several factors, including whether the case is prosecuted in federal or in state court and the total monetary value of the fraud. If they combine all those cars that she is responsible for and put it together, it's going to be a whole lot of money. So she might be charged federally instead of being charged statewide. Federal penalties can reach up to 30 years in prison time. So she better hope that they keep her case at a state level and the feds don't pick it up. Federal organized fraud penalties. Federal organized fraud charges often fall under statutes like mail fraud, wire fraud, particularly if the scheme involves the interstate communication. Penalties can include up to 30 years in a federal prison for schemes affecting a financial institution. That's like a bank or something like that, right? Fines up to $1 million or both, prison time and a fine, and a pretty large restitution, which is money you will have to pay back. Less than $20,000 is a third degree. $20,000 to $50,000 is a second degree. $50,000 or more is a first degree, and she has a couple of those. So she's looking at some serious time in prison. She's chilling right now. Right now, she's getting her hair braided. She's sitting in between Big Brenda's legs. She's contemplating her life. She's wishing she never did what she did. Should I go look work and behave yourself? She was working. She just needed to behave herself. I wonder who put her up to this. I wonder if she's really the mastermind behind this or somebody else, like a past employee who is a male who figured this out and said, damn, the only thing we need is security on our side. And if we could talk to Shorty, she could help us with the plan. Because I can't see her being the one who actually say, you know what? I know this could work, and I figured out how I could just pretend I'm scanning the vehicles when I just let the vehicle go, and then boom, bam, bam, and then you hit me back some cash, and then you take the vehicle to Georgia and take the vehicle to West Virginia, and you don't have to turn the vehicle back in. It just be lost. You do what you got to do with it and ditch it. I don't know if that makes sense. To me, it don't. And I'm sure to those of you who are listening, it makes no damn sense either. I'm going to leave this one right here. You have fun. Say all you have to say about her wig, her orangutan wig, and all this other stuff. I don't care. It ain't me. I'm saying, let her be an example. Every morning I get on here, I say shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work. Extra special big up shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. You notice the common thing there is work, 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 like Rihanna. Yeah. Because when you work, you might be tired after working, but you earn an honest living, and you don't have to worry about police come in, haul and pull you and carry you go which part them want carry you go and do what them want to do with you, and you're not locked in anybody's jail or prison facing any amount of time. You're free. Good luck to her. Leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. Walk good. I'm out. Peace.